Hello, Year 5. Hello, my lovelies. I hope you're all feeling fine and dynamic today, full of energy. We're just going to cover days 3 and 4 of our writing. Hopefully, you've managed to produce something good for the first 2 days. So let's just go through them from the beginning just to remind us what we were doing. I'm just going to move myself up there. Okay, so day 1, we described the scene and characters, and day 2, writing a conversation. Today we're going to find out what was in the tunnel, and for tomorrow's writing, day 4, exiting the tunnel. If indeed you decide, do you want to leave the tunnel? You might decide to stay in the tunnel. Okay, so that was our picture. I had decided it was going to be Arthur, Gretchen, and Mimi. That was my first introduction, then my conversation, and now day 3, we're going to enter the tunnel. Oh, look, I've just put my picture right on top of the tunnel. Okay, I'm going to move myself back down there again. So, what could be in the tunnel? Is there something alive inside the tunnel? How long is the tunnel? What will it be like in there? And will they regret their choice to enter? So much you could include in this. So, what did I decide to do? Well, I decided that they had to go through the tunnel. At no point yet have I said why they need to go into the tunnel or where the tunnel is leading to. I don't think I need to at the moment. You might have chosen to, but I thought I would leave it up to the imagination of the reader. Okay, here we go. My best acting voice. Mimi moved forward like a cat preparing to pounce. Arthur grudgingly passed her the lamp. As she crept into the tunnel, the lamp's power seemed to increase, illuminating a few paces ahead of them. Behind her, her friends shuffled along as though they were roped together on a treacherous mountain path. She could not be sure, but Mimi had a very definite feeling that somewhere in the darkness there was something watching their every move. They were not alone. In the inky black, she thought she made out a shape. "Come closer," came a voice from nowhere. "Don't worry, I won't bite." Mimi opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Arthur took over. "Who's there? What do you want?" "Just me." And from the darkness stepped a proud, handsome fox. "Ooh, yes, I put a fox in as an animal that lives there, not a human, and a talking fox. You could have anything you like in there. I just wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things that I was doing again today. I was thinking that perhaps I was going to put in some shorter sentences because I like short sentences if they're powerful. We don't always have to use long sentences. It's good if we mix up the length of sentences. So I've got Arthur took over. Oh, I've put in they were not alone. I like that. They were not alone. And Arthur took over. So I put in those couple of shorter sentences just to add a little bit of tension, because short sentences do add tension. And Arthur grudgingly passed her the lamp. That's quite a simple sentence, but I think it's one that adds a little bit more tension. So that's one thing. And can we spot anywhere in here that we put a preposition to start a sentence? Go, just have a quick look. Is there a preposition somewhere there where we use to start? Put it on pause if you want to have a good old look. Okay, I would say behind is a good preposition, positional preposition to start a sentence. Okay, so that's my day 3. And then we move on to day 4, leaving the tunnel. So So at the end of the third section, we met a character, the fox. You may not have met a character. So for me, I've got to make some choices again. Is he friendly? Will he help them? Can the friends leave the tunnel? Where will the tunnel lead to? So at this point, I've decided that in my head, I know where the tunnel's going to, because they are very cold and it's winter on their side of the tunnel. So they're going to be going somewhere better. So I've not said where they're coming from or why they're going into the tunnel or if they're being chased. You could add all of that information in, that extra detail if you want. I've chosen not to. Okay, day 4. The 3 friends stood motionless and watched as the fox edged towards them. Do you need a guide to take you to the other end? Mimi had now found her voice. Do you think you could? We've been travelling for days and need to get through the tunnel. The fox smiled and turned abruptly. The travellers, seeing the white tip of his tail start to bob away from them, broke into a quick trot to keep up. It appeared that the tunnel was curved, which explained why they had been unable to see any light from the end. Now, as they slowly turned the corner, it was clear that the tunnel was not as long as they had feared. As they approached the exit, they started to feel warmth in the air and the aroma of grasses and flowers. And there they were, the sunlight on their faces and the melody of birdsong in their ears. They had reached springtime. Okay, so one of the things that struck me as I was reading mine again aloud, because I've been reading it in my head until now, just kind of keeping it in here, is that it probably needs to be broken up a little bit more. There's a sentence here which is very long. This one, the travellers, seeing the white tip of his tail start to bob away from them, broke into a quick trot to keep up. That was too long. I need to put some commas in there, I think, or at least a 1 comma. So because it is so important. That's why I sometimes say you read your work aloud, because sometimes it doesn't work quite as well as you imagine it does in your head. So I was guilty of doing that this time. So I'm going to go back and make some changes to this on day 5. Okay, so see if you can get on with that now. You've got entering the tunnel, what they're going to find in the tunnel, and then leaving the tunnel. Where are they going? Maybe they just turn back. Maybe they're too scared. There's all sorts of things. Tunnels are great things for stories because you never know what's inside a tunnel. It's like a cave, but tunnels lead somewhere. So use your imagination, and I look forward to seeing how days 3 and 4 work out. Bye-bye. See you soon.